Yep.
All right, thank you, Devin. Hey, Jesse, did you want to?
Yeah, the club mission. Great. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication skills and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth.
Thank you so much, Jesse.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Tammy, again. Hello.
Thank you.
I'm going to, I copy and pasted the roll sheet, but some of you signed up to Zoom a little bit later. So let me go ahead and put it back in the chat. Can everybody see that? If you can link on there, and please sign up for some roles, especially for next week, because that way it'll shorten the time later on at the end of this meeting, so I don't have to ask everybody. Okay, so all right, with that, welcome, happy Friday, everybody. And we've got all kinds of things in store, including Paul for our table topics. And we've got Stacy, who's going to be our Toastmaster. I know she's ready to get roaring here, so I'm not going to hold her back. Let's all help me welcome Stacy.
Whatever you do, don't hold me back. I haven't done this in a while, but I'm really good at it. So I will have a lot of fun today. And the word of the day today is Paul's the table topics master, and the word of the day is supply chain. So remember to use that word when you do your table topics. And I tried to find a word that went with for a theme to go with supply chain. And I thought abundance might be a good word, because if you have a supply, you really need to have some abundance. So that's the theme for today. Our roles are mostly filled, and if I'm missing somebody, I apologize, but I have Paul as table topics master. We need a joke master. Would somebody like to volunteer to be Toastmaster?
I think Lisa volunteered, but she'll need to be called a little bit later, right, Lisa? Or are you ready?
And I'll do that as soon as I introduce all the roles. So how's that? That'll work. And our counter is Jesse. Grammarian is Megan. Is Megan on? And let me see, I have to change my view so I can see. Let's see. Whoop, sorry. And I need a timer. Here we go.
Brooke volunteered for that.
Oh, timer. Okay, now I can see everybody. I was on the wrong view. So, we have Joke Master. Oh, General Evaluator is Lucille. Lost my place. So at this point in time, I'd like to introduce our Joke Master. And Lisa said she would do the joke. Are you ready?
Let's unmute.
I am ready. All right, I had to pull something up on the fly. Excuse me. So there was a boy, and they said, "The principal is so dumb." And the girl said, "Do you know who I am?" And the boy says, "No." The girl says, "I'm the principal's daughter."
Okay, please share your screen. I want to look.
The boy said,
inside, okay?
wait, is somebody talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Megan, can you
Megan, you might want
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I thought somebody was talking to me. I'll start over. Okay.
Sorry.
It's fine. There was a boy, and he says to the girl next to him, "The principal is so dumb." And the girl says, "Do you know who I am?" The boy says, "No." And the girl says, "I'm the principal's daughter." And then the boy says, "Do you know who I am?" And the girl says, "No." And the boy says, "Good." And he just walks away. Corny, but you know,
Very good.
you gave me 5 minutes.
Okay. Thank you for finding something that fast. That I know that's sometimes a challenge. At this point, I'd like to introduce our speakers. We have two wonderful speakers, very seasoned speakers today. Welcome, Angel. There's Angel. Our speaker, Devin DeVries, is doing project. Her project is level 2, project 1, understanding your leadership style. She's on the leadership path. Her objective is to identify her primary leadership style and share an aspect of that style or experiences as a leader. For the timer, her time is 5 to 7 minutes. So I'd like to introduce Devin DeVries, My Leadership Path, and My Leadership Path, Devin DeVries. Thank you. Let's welcome.
Thank you. So the year is 2008. I'm 23 years old and I'm presented with an amazing opportunity at work. My manager at the time had to leave kind of suddenly due to health issues. And I was given the opportunity to take over for her and manage the team. And at that point, I had never managed anybody. So this was a huge step for me. And also there was a lot of added pressure to the role because our function in the business was the creation and management of all the products we sold on the website. So it was a really like critical business function that interacted with a lot of the departments in the company. So there were a lot of eyes on me. But I thought, I'm up for this challenge, and I was very excited about it. But what I wasn't quite aware of was I wasn't just inheriting the work, I was inheriting people and a team that now needed me to direct them and lead the way. And my two direct reports couldn't have been more different from each other. They were totally opposite personalities. And to be honest, they were pretty opposite from myself as well. So we were dealing with 3 different personality and work styles. And it really was a bit of a struggle. Up to that point, I had always been trained on how to do my job and my assignment, and I knew how to do that work and I was confident in it. But nobody gave me any direction on how to manage these people. They just threw me in there and it was kind of a sink or swim situation. And I have to say, we just kind of struggled along together for about 9 months until they decided to move me into a new position in a new department, reassign those people to someone else. But my experience just kind of left me with this feeling of almost failure. It just felt like I never figured out how to really make us a cohesive team, how to guide them, how to lead them. And, as kind of an overachiever, there was a little bit of a disappointment that I wasn't immediately, the world's best boss right out the gate. A few years later, I had another opportunity to take on a direct report. And we had hired a young guy who's really enthusiastic, really excited to be there. And for the first month, we just struggled to connect. And every time I would train him on something, it just seemed like it wasn't getting through, and I'd have to retrain him. And I just felt like, why do I have to teach these things over and over again? But by that point, I had started to learn about like personality assessment tests and work style tests. And so I had the whole team do the Myers-Briggs personality test, if you're familiar with that one. And it really opened my eyes to a few big things. What I was able to see was the way I learn and teach was the complete opposite way that he learned. So knowing that, I was able to then change the way I was giving him direction, change the way we communicated, and it made a noticeable difference. But I feel like those first two experiences managing people really showed kind of the challenge that we have these days, that nobody teaches you management skills right off the bat. Often in these corporate jobs, they just assume if you're good at your regular job that you'll be good at managing people. So I think this project for Toastmasters is so valuable. So this is all about learning what is your leadership style, how to apply it in your life, whether you manage people or you're part of an organization like Toastmasters, how do we use those skills? The assessment they had us take, my two dominant styles are altruistic and democratic. And some of the kind of key things that jumped out to me on those terms were very team driven, consensus driven. I enjoy collaborating. So I'm not a kind of, it's my way or the highway kind of leader. I like to work in teams, collaborate with others, take in a lot of information, and then, make decisions to guide our path. So I wish I had known that all those years ago, but I do know it now. And through Toastmasters, I've gotten to practice those skills a lot more. I think I have shared before when I first joined Toastmasters, I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to do the 10 speeches, but I have no interest in being a club officer or moving through the district. I was so like not interested. But I feel like when the time is right, that's when the challenges show up. So after I'd been in for a little while, then I realized, oh no, I do need to practice those skills. I have said that for my big career goal is to take over the company one day, which means I'm going to have to motivate and lead a whole team of people. Then I do need to know how to do that. So the challenges appeared and I was able to start figuring out how to practice that. And I really kind of just want to leave you with that as the message today, because I feel like Toastmasters is wonderful at providing a safe place, without a lot of pressure to practice these kind of really important life skills that will apply to, your work career and your personal life. It has so many benefits. So I was able to start small with helping with the social media of our club, and then moved all the way up eventually to president and got so much out of it. So if you are thinking about that, or you think I might need those skills, I really encourage you to try, see how you can join activities in the club, start contributing, and take advantage of this opportunity. Again, like I said, because you don't want to wait till you're all of a sudden in a high pressure situation like I was, where my job was on the line. So we're coming up on a new term. There's going to be officer positions available. So I highly encourage you to do that. And with that, I will turn it back over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Devin. At this moment, I'd like us to take a minute to fill out an evaluation. So I will start the timer now. Nearing the end of 1 minute. Okay, I believe that would be enough time. And Devin has put her email address in the chat. So if you could please send your evaluation to her in an email. Our next speaker is a very experienced speaker. Deanna Doviat is on a path of team collaboration. She's on level 4, project 1, and her assignment was to develop a project, create a team to complete the project, and practice skills to motivate her team. Please help me welcome Deanna Doviat. Raise your hand. Raise your hand, Deanna Doviat.
Thank you, Stacey. My project involved you, each and every one of you. And who are my teammates? My teammates were the executive board, as well as you, the membership. And what were the techniques that I used to motivate my team? I would say that it narrowed down to about 3 different things that I did. One was I had to motivate myself before I could motivate anybody else. And if I feel good, then you're going to feel my energy as well. I have this on my desk, and it's been with me for decades. And what it says is, attitude is everything. And it really is everything, because you can have a positive attitude or you can have a negative attitude. And no matter what your attitude is, it is going to be contagious to other people. So every week, I had to walk through my door every Friday, and I had to be in the mood to motivate you guys, and I had to motivate myself. So I found that helpful is for me to just bring myself up and be positive and to share that with you. The second thing that I did was to follow a clear plan. And the nice thing about Toastmasters is that everything's all laid out for us. For example, the President Distinguished Award, they have this whole outline as far as what you need to do in order to accomplish that. And even last week, for us to qualify for the Meeting Excellence Award, that was a great plan that was set up. And I wasn't sure if we were going to make that, because one of the things was to have a guest. And we also had to have 15 members attend. And I wasn't sure who our guest was going to be, although Tammy expressed an interest in wanting to be part of our meeting about a month ago, and I wasn't too sure whether or not she would remember, a month later. So I did send a reminder and telling, hey, looking forward to seeing you on Friday. And lo and behold, Thursday, she sent me an email saying that she was going to be here. So I was really excited, and that kind of recharged me. And I looked back at the plan and saying, oh my gosh, we need 15 people. And I knew some people weren't going to make it because they had other things going on. So I sent emails out and making sure that people were going to make it if they could. And the great thing about this organization, you guys pulled through. When it comes to down the wire, when things need to happen, we all pull together and you guys pull through. So I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm proud to be a part of this organization. The third thing that I also did as far as trying to motivate others is to lead by example. I feel that if I'm not able to do something, it's going to be hard for me to expect others to do it. An example of this is when we first became officers and were voted in, Toastmasters had leadership training sessions, and I wanted to make sure that all of our officers went through these training sessions. So what I did is when they sent that out, I made sure I was the first one to sign up for the leadership training. And that was my way of setting an example for the rest of the team. And what I learned through this process is that I've gained patience and trust in my teammates. I know that sometimes if I even get emails from people asking questions about how to do this, how to do that, it's really easy for me to just type a response, and I want to type a response, but I had to hold back and let my teammates answer the questions and give them the opportunity to excel and to improve in their responsibilities as well. I also learned that being focused is really important. And it just reinforced it that if we're focused on a plan and we implement it, that makes the biggest difference because you know what you need to do. And I go back to last week's example of the Meeting Excellence Award. If I hadn't looked at the requirements, I mean, there were like 15 requirements that we had to do in order to qualify for that. And it was as simple as starting on time and ending the meeting on time. But if I didn't pay attention to that, we could have easily gone over. So being focused and being targeted, that makes a big difference. And the other thing is, I learned that I can do this job as being president. Just like how Devin was saying, in the beginning, it's difficult if you're not ready to take on that kind of responsibility. And I'm the kind of person that does not enjoy being in the limelight. I like to be on the side. I like to help people or do things to assist, but I'm really not the person to be in the limelight. And I learned by being in this position that I can do it, and it's given me the confidence to do it. So my question to you is, are you the person that likes to be in the limelight as well? Or are you a sideliner like myself? And I just encourage you to get involved, because in the beginning, when I was in Toastmasters, it was difficult for me to raise my hand. Even for role positions like being a Toastmaster, doing table topics, I never raised my hand to do that. Instead, other members like Rick would say, hey, Deanna, you should do that position, or why don't you take on that role? And I found myself being pushed into these positions. And I had an epiphany the other night, because I noticed that a lot of times when I'm not comfortable doing something, I tend to procrastinate. I tend not to make decisions. And quite frankly, I'm tired of making decisions without making a decision. Having things happen and that being the outcome, I'm tired of that. I want to take more charge of my life and be more in the position of having life, making life happen instead of having life happen to me. And so like Devin is saying, we've got a lot of things coming up in the next months. We're going to have officer positions open, and even little things like signing up for a speech, signing up for a role. I just really encourage you also to raise your hand and to just do it and not wait for somebody to call on you. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. Great speech. Let's take a minute to fill out an evaluation. And I don't know if your email's in the chat, but if you could add that, then we can email our evaluations to you. Mm-hmm. 10 more seconds. Okay. can we get a timer's report, please?
Yes, so both qualified. Devon was 7 minutes, 10 seconds, and Deanna was 7 minutes, 25 seconds.
Thank you. Wonderful. We will vote later when the ballot gets sent out for all three. So next, I'd like to move on to introduce the general evaluator. Our general evaluator today is, I think I have it wrong. Let's see, who's our general? Oh, Lucille. Okay, I wrote it on the agenda wrong. So I'd like to introduce Lucille as our general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. It is my pleasure to introduce the evaluators today. Our first evaluator is Pat, who will be evaluating Devon. Please, Pat.
Thank you, Lucille. Devon, that was a very meaningful, high-value speech. When I say that, I mean some of the categories that I check when I have my own little evaluation form. It says speech value. And I think it was very meaningful because you were very enthusiastic. You were very sincere. You're about growing, about guiding your team, about being proactive. I like that how you said you looked up the Myers-Briggs test. So that was that's really cool that you did that to kind of gauge how you're doing. Your language was very good. I like some of the phrases, had a lot of eyes on me, sink or swim, collaborate. You were animated. It was very, it flowed very naturally, your delivery manner. You're very steady. The only thing I could think about was, how to improve the speech was, since you're so steady and you're very deliberate in the way you speak, very calm. The only thing is maybe it might prevent you from kind of some vocal variety, or where you can talk real loud or talk real slow or something. I don't know. Maybe that is not preventing you from doing it, but it just I don't know. That's just something vocal variety could enhance it a little. And yeah, but overall it was just a very pleasing speech. It was well done, and I got a lot out of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Our second evaluator is Anita, who will be evaluating Deanna. Anita, please.
Thank you, Lucille. Deanna. Whenever I see you, you look so confident and motivated. And I just think this whole year as president, you couldn't have done better in motivating this whole group. And I love the name of the title of your speech. And it really makes sense when you're talking about motivating a team. First, I thought it was about school, but then I realized it was about motivating. But you're a natural motivator. And I didn't realize when I saw the title that your project was about us. I was kind of wondering, what's her project going to be? I thought it was probably a work project of some type. And it was actually about us. I thought that was pretty cool. You're a natural motivator, as I said. I saw that you were standing, and I thought that was pretty cool. It took me a minute to figure it out. But once, I know you've mentioned it before, once I figured out that you were standing, it really worked. And I was happy to see that you did that. You were animated. I loved it when you went, oh my gosh, like that, and different things like that. That's how you are. And that's motivating too, to be into what you're saying and being motivated like that. Your leadership, you said that we pulled through. It was your leadership that helped pull us through. And we really appreciate it. I have a really hard time finding anything to criticize or any constructive criticism for your speech. You're just you seem to be a natural speaker, and I really enjoyed it. And I am honored, and I think we all are, that we were your project. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. And I will turn over the meeting to our Toastmaster, Stacy.
Thank you, Lucille. How about the timer? Give us a report on how the evaluators did.
Both evaluators passed. Yeah, they both passed with Pat 2 minutes 11 seconds and Nita with 1 minute 59 seconds.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Great job. The next meeting is going to be usually a lot of fun. We have an excellent table topics master today, Paul Barsh, and his word of the day, supply chain, means a supply chain is a network between a company and its suppliers to produce and distribute a specific product to the final buyer. Let's introduce Paul Barsh.
Thank you, Stacy. So as we go through our discussion today, please use the word supply chain. And as Stacy just said, a supply chain, if you think about it, it's how companies plan for what they're going to bring to market, how they source the materials to make things, how they manufacture something, how they deliver it, and then how they return things. Sometimes we take things back to the store, we return it. Maybe the Coca-Cola didn't have its fizz. So all kinds of things. And that's what the whole supply chain is about. So today's table topics, all about supply chain. So please use that word of the day. Let's start with the planning function in supply chain. You may not realize it, but there are people, highly paid people, they're called supply chain planners. And their job is to forecast what they think you want. Now, there's an interesting thing that happened in the August timeframe, and I don't know if this was a result of COVID or what the heck happened here, but everybody knows what spicy chicken sandwiches are, I would imagine. Popeyes introduced a spicy chicken sandwich, and they sold out. They sold out so much that they ran out of spicy chicken sandwiches for 2 months. I don't understand how you run out of spicy chicken sandwiches. How complicated is it? You just put a little bit of spice on that sandwich. But apparently for 2 months, there was so much demand that they ran out of spicy chicken sandwiches and they couldn't get them back on the shelves for 2 months. So that's an example of where the supply chain planners messed that one up. Not enough spicy chicken sandwiches. My question to you is, can you think of a product that you recently wanted that you couldn't find anywhere, frustrated you, and what did you do about it? Let's go with Lisa.
Hi, fellow Toastmasters, and thank you for that question, Paul. You know, I was thinking about that the other day when I was looking for a healthy chip option, and for the long time, I was eating these chips I got from Sprouts called chicken chips without the E, and I think without the I because it's so cool to not have vowels in words now. And they're really good. They're made out of chicken skin. They're very low carb. They're pretty healthy. Couldn't find them. Much like at Trader Joe's years ago, they stopped carrying a favorite chocolate of mine called UFO candies. And I was devastated. I even mentioned it, and I think they looked at me strangely because at Trader Joe's, everything that you love is eventually discontinued at some point. But then I was thinking, I bet you that the problem has to do with the COVID vaccine, toilet paper when COVID started, face masks, that there is a run on a product, right? Everybody wants that product, or there is an aversion to the product. So maybe the product I want either nobody else liked and they stopped carrying it, or the product that I wanted at the time, toilet paper, everybody wanted, and you get it. And then I was thinking today, catch that I just said it. I was thinking perhaps the products we want are on a freighter that's in the Strait of, I forget where it is right now. They're in Egypt. There is a freighter blocking the shipping lines. Nothing can get through. So if you're looking for a product, I think you're going to have to wait a few months because it might be on that freighter.
Thank you, Lisa. So true. That's one of my coming up table topics. So you gave us a preview. So one of the things that a lot of us don't know is that there is a semiconductor shortage right now. Semiconductors are just microchips. They're just chips that belong in our electronics. And here's what happened. During COVID, we all got stuck at home from work from home. So a lot of us, we bought devices, electronics. I don't know about you, but I bought a new iPad. Some of us upgraded our iPhones. And because of the demand during COVID, the chip manufacturers started producing high-end chips that power our electronics. Now that left a gaping hole in some of the smaller microprocessors that run TVs, some of the units that run your cars, just a whole bunch of electronics that we don't think about every day that run our everyday lives. So there's a huge semiconductor shortage, and that means that there could be in our near future price increases. TVs could go up, washing machines could go up. A lot of the electronics, the dryers, the washers, they're all run by electronics. So my question is, what one product are you or were you thinking about buying this year that you might not buy if the price goes up, let's say 10%? Think of the things that are electronics. Could be a car, could be anything. What's one product you're thinking about buying this year that you might not buy if the price goes up 10% because of this supply chain shortage of semiconductors? Christiana.
Thanks, Paul. Why did I have a feeling you were going to ask me this question? Because I work in the semiconductor business. I honestly have no plans to buy any electronics. I work with electronics all day long, and I am faced with this shortage issue all day long. We make a PC semiconductor chip in my organization, and most of the semiconductor products have been allocated to our larger part of our business, which is our cell phone division. So we struggle a bit to meet demand, and it's all of our partners, HP, Dell, Lenovo, are struggling to meet demand to build products. There's also been a shortage of glass, believe it or not, for the displays. The glass shortage may even be a little more significant than the semiconductor shortage. I'm currently spending all of my money on home improvements because, like most of us, we're all stuck at home, and I'm looking around going, I need this, I need that. So I don't think any of those prices are going up. Labor cost is going up though for those. But I've been luckily have had enough time to really research service providers and find the best deal. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Christiana. One of the things that changed quite a bit during COVID, when we were all stuck from home, working from home, is that we did a lot of online shopping. And I don't know if that's going to change or not. Maybe things will go back to brick and mortar, to the store experience, and maybe they'll stay permanently. Last December, 60% of people did their shopping online. I thought that number would be even higher. I thought it'd be like 90%, people not wanting to go in stores, but apparently people still went into stores. My question to you is, going forward from this day on, how have your shopping habits changed? Are you going to go back into the brick and mortar retail when they become available? Or are you now an online person? Let's go with Pat.
It's a good question, Paul. How am I going to change my supply chain habits. I kind of like still going out to the brick and mortar stuff. It's kind of like exercise or whatever for me, or just to get out of the house, which I think we all kind of crave with the after months of this staying home. But I also like going just online and shopping around and looking for good deals. It kind of depends on whether I need it like right away. If I need parts for my car, then I'll just go to Napa or something. But if it's something that can wait, then I'll go online and hunt around for the cheaper deals. So, but I do like just searching online for odd stuff that I can't find in the stores. So I think it's a little bit both. So thanks.
Thanks, Pat. You may not know this, I didn't know this until all this, but the Biden administration put out some executive orders. Sorry, there's some feedback. There we go. Thanks, Pat. Put out some executive orders to improve supply chain resilience. And what that specifically means is around our PPE, our personal protective equipment, and also medicines. A lot of our medicines are made offshore, and a lot of our PPE is made offshore. So all the N95 masks, the gowns, all the things that there was a huge shortage of, they're made offshore. The Biden administration wants to bring a lot of that back to our shores, to reshore it. My question to you is, do you think companies should be required, the companies that make these things, should they be required to produce PPE and medicines in the US? Or are you comfortable with the way things are today and have things, a real globalized supply chain, which could mean lower costs? Tammy.
Thank you. In my opinion, it's kind of a politically charged question, I would say, relating to supply chain. But in my personal opinion, I would think that the first priority would be to try to produce as much as we could in the United States. But I'm one of those that kind of sits on the line, and I really feel like looking at from a global perspective is important too. So I think I need to know more information to be able to answer it, in a more educated way. But that would be my first gut reaction to your question.
Thank you, Tammy. One thing that we're all encountering these days is the vaccine supply chain. There's a huge supply chain from end to end. So if you think about it, you have the manufacturers that are creating the vaccines and manufacturing the vaccines. You have things like syringes. You have things like labels. You have the transportation. A lot of the vaccines, 2 of them, in fact, rely on a cold chain where the vaccines have to be kept at a pretty significant minus Fahrenheit, minus 80, minus 90. So there's a huge supply chain for vaccines. My question to you is, have you been happy with the vaccine rollout? Whatever that means to you. Equity, not enough? Are you satisfied? Are you happy with the vaccine rollout? Or do you think there would have been a better way to get the vaccines to the people who need them most? Lucille.
Thank you for that question, Paul. Vaccine and supply chain. That's a tough question. Am I happy with the way it's rolled out? I think is your question. I think overall and bottom line, they're doing the best they can to roll out as much vaccine is available. What I like to talk about is how the vaccine was hastened. And just a little background in technology or in biotech, actually all those vaccines had already been gone through most likely to the second or third level of FDA approval. And that's where the testing for the animal testing and stuff like that. And they've hastened it without those to move it forward for the people. And I think that's one reason why they're doing something that's more of a titrated. In other words, they give you a small dose for first, and then they go back and say, wait for a couple of weeks or more, because they need to find out the reaction. And that part I do not like, because it was pushed through too fast for a virus that has a 99.6% recovery rate. So am I happy with the way the supply chain is going? Yes. Am I happy with the way the vaccine is pushed through? No. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Lucille. So we've talked about how companies plan, how they source things, how they make them in terms of these vaccines or onshoring their manufacturing. We haven't really talked about how supply chains deliver. In the United States, nearly 70% of all freight goes on a truck. And that kind of makes sense. We see trucks everywhere. If you ever do the I-5, there's trucks everywhere. But there's a lot of the goods that we rely on go on a truck. My question to you is, what truck would you want coming to your house right now? If you had to have one truck come up that street, what would that truck be delivering? Angeles.
Thank you, Paul. Due to the supply chain of things, it's also has to do with one of the questions you asked earlier about something that I want, but I can't find. I've been going to Costco and they have these mozzarella sticks that I like, and I haven't seen them in a long time. Like every time I go there, that's like what I go look for, and I never find them. And a truck I would want to come to my house right now would be that Costco truck with mozzarella sticks. I tried making them. They don't come out the same way. So it would really make me really happy if that truck came and just delivered like pots full of mozzarella sticks. Thank you.
Thank you, Angeles. That's great. Stacey, do we have time for one more? Or do you want to wrap?
I think we're running out of time.
Okay. Then thank you, everyone, for this tour of supply chains.
Thank you so much, Paul. Can we get a timers report?
Yes, so Lisa and Lucille did not qualify. They went over time, but Christiana, she came in at 1 minute, 12 seconds. Pat came in at 1 minute, 15 seconds. Tammy came in at 48 seconds, and Angeles came in at 1 minute.
Perfect, thank you. And Megan, you're the grammarian, so how many of the speakers said the word of the day? Words of the day. You gotta unmute.
Okay. All right. Now, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I thought at first I thought that the word of the day was supply chain, but then I kept hearing the people talk and they all said supply here and there. And so I wasn't sure if that took the place of supply chain, or
I believe it was supposed to be supply chain.
all right. Well, then I was just all thinking of supply chain or supply. So I didn't really take notes on that. But I did have notes about the grammarian now. Is that
No,
grammarian?
we just want to know who said
Ah.
the supply chain, just supply chain.
I was confused about. I thought supply was good, and I think everyone used a version of supply chain.
Okay. Does anybody think that maybe they didn't use it? Just be honest about it.
I wrote it down. I know Pat said it. I know Lucille said it, and Angela said it. I don't think Christiana said it, and I wasn't too sure on Tammy.
I said supply chain, but I didn't say abundance.
Oh,
It
no,
was
you
just
don't
supply
need to.
chain.
Oh, okay.
Just the supply chain, so you're good. So if I'm correct, did you say Christiana?
No, I didn't hear Christiana say it.
So that leaves Pat, Tammy, and Angelus to
Yes.
vote for when we get the vote. And someone will send out the vote gizmo. I don't know what to call that, but pretty soon. And you can vote for your favorite speaker, favorite evaluator, and favorite table topics. And we are moving right along. There it is. How about that? Let's take just a second here to fill that out and move right along. That was a fun subject, Paul. And mozzarella cheese, who would have thought? Who would have thought of mozzarella cheese? That's great. So if we're done with the voting, let's move ahead to the reports. Let's go with Jesse for the accounting.
All right, absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to let you know that neither Paul nor Devin had any Oz, and that's a huge feat because Devin had a whole speech and Paul was our Toastmaster. Okay, and then Deanna only had a couple of false starts. Pat just had a couple of ums and a couple of ahs, maybe a so. Anita had a couple of ums. Lisa, one Christiana, a couple of ands and a couple of ums. Tammy just had a but. Lucille, one ah. And Angelus had a false start and a one and. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Great job.
Great job. Great job. Grammarian, Megan, can you give us some maybe creative uses of words or words that you heard stood out?
I first I loved how Devin started hers with 3 different styles, and she brought attention to that and of leadership. And Deanna, I loved how you put each of us into your into your speech, which really and it was sort of apropos since you said about how each Friday you have to motivate yourself in order to motivate us. And I think that, you putting everyone into your speech really makes everyone pay attention to see how they are in yours, how they are part of your team, or to be in your speech. And so it was I think that was very good. And Pat, I liked how you said the high value, and I liked how you said that you look at your own evaluations, and that was good to show how we need to hold on to our evaluations and use them for the future. And Anita, I liked the way you started yours with Deanna, Deanna, Deanna. And that brought it, and how you got her with standing, how you brought attention to that. And Paul about spicy chicken sandwiches on the supply and demand.
Thank you,
And,
Megan.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not done. You have more? Okay.
I thought that it was neat that Lisa brought in Egypt and Christian Paul. And Tammy needs more info before the answer, which was a great, because all of those questions, Paul, it was one way or the other, they were very thought-provoking. They were good. And it would be good if everyone had more information on those questions, but it was good. And I loved a truck of mozzarella cheese and Lucille, the best they can. And Christiana, labor price is going up. And Pat need it right away. And that's it. Thank you.
All right.
Back to Toastmaster.
You're very thorough. Thank you very much. And last but not least, we have Lucille as our general evaluator. Take it away.
Thank you, Stacey. I'm going to make it short and sweet. I think Megan had covered most of it for me, so thank you, Megan. What I'm going to focus on are the evaluators. And Pat, you did a great job. I like that you put highlight the positive strength, the good strength of who did you evaluate? Sorry, now Devin, and also Anita did the same thing, the strength that they already have. And I know both of you could not quite find something for them to challenge the next time, and because they are both are very, very good speakers and seasoned speakers, so it's often hard to find something to challenge to them, but you did try to find a little bit, and that's always good to do. Overall, I've enjoyed the meeting. Stacey, great job as Toastmaster. You executed it and facilitated it flawlessly. Paul, always very good table topics, some challenges that we like. I like to think something that's harder. And so you challenge us with those hard questions. And some are lighter. I know you've done some very light questions as well. So both of you did a marvelous job. Overall, great. Thank you so much for Friday. Fun Friday again. Stacey, back to you.
I forgot to unmute. Okay, so I'd like to announce our winners, and I believe everybody did a fabulous job. Both speakers were wonderful, so it is really hard to decide which speaker. But our speaker award goes to Deanna today. So let's give Deanna some kudos. Our evaluator today was Anita. And drum roll for table topics, it was a tie between Angelus and Tammy. So great job, everyone. And at this point, I will turn it back over to our president, Deanna.
All right. Thank you so much, Stacey, for being cognizant about the time and keeping us on schedule. And really quickly, if you guys need to, Devin, or if you need to save your chat for the evals, if you haven't sent all your evaluations for the speakers. And let's take a quick picture, you guys. I gotta remember to do that every week. Okay, what should we do? Okay, I saw Anita. Anita went like this. How about that? Okay. All right. Did you get that, Devin? Thank you so much. All right. And Paul, did you have an announcement?
I do. Dues are due. A lot of you have paid. Thank you very much. If you need an invoice, please let me know. I'm happy to send one out via Square. Just a small $2 processing fee, and we can get that taken care of. $62, or you can send me a check and we'll scan it and get you loaded.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Paul, and thank you everybody for paying on time. On that note, when is a good time for us to meet at the Heritage Park? I know that the hall hasn't opened just yet, but I'm thinking if we can meet maybe once a month in person at the park where we normally would eventually go into the building. Does that sound like something like a good idea?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I like it.
Okay. And how soon? How about 2 weeks from today? Or 3 weeks from today?
I don't think it matters to me.
3 weeks from today. I'm hearing 3 weeks. Okay. So 3 weeks from today. Just really quickly, can I just have a show of hands of how many people would like to meet 3 weeks from today at the park? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, cool. We got a majority. Sounds good. And with that, I want to share my screen.
I would just suggest, Deanna, to check the weather, make sure it's not going to be rainy or something.
Yes. Thank you, Jesse.
Yes.
Definitely need to check on that. Remind me when we get closer.
Will do.
Okay, share the screen.
Would 3 weeks from today be the 16th or the 23rd?
That's a good question. I don't know. I gotta look at the calendar.
I think it would be the 16th.
16th? Okay. Thank you.
16th, that's right.
All right. So today, yay, let's give Devin a hand here for being level 2, project 1. Yay. And then I am halfway done with my level 4. So I'm excited about that. Okay, and the other thing is, can you guys see the roll sheet? Yes, can you see the roll sheet for next week? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of spots open. Can we please have some speakers for next week? And we have a spot for Toastmaster. We need at least one speaker from today to sign up.
I won't be speaker, but I'll be speaker in 2 weeks, and I could be evaluator next week, Jesse.
Okay, cool. So I'll put you down as evaluator for, are you sure you don't want to move it up 1 week?
On the event, not on the speaker. I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me put you for speaker number 2 then on the 9th. Thank you. Cool. Thanks, Jesse.